The deep space around the small Solari ship was dark and silent. The ship moved very slowly, almost drifting. Its engines were weak, and its lights flickered every few minutes. Inside the ship, the air was thin, food was almost gone, and hope was fading. Euros, the old leader of the Solari group, sat near the front window and looked at the stars with tired eyes. His skin, once bright silver, was now dull from stress and fear. He had guided many people in the past, but never through something as terrible as this. The Solari were a peaceful race, but peace had not saved them. The empire they lived under had accused them of refusing to join a war. The Solari did not believe in fighting. They did not build weapons, and they did not train soldiers. When the empire demanded fighters, the Solari leaders chose to remain neutral. The empire called them traitors. Soon their cities were attacked, their families broken, and their people hunted. Euros had taken as many survivors as he could and escaped into deep space. For weeks they ran, but the Empire's ships chased them. Only after a long and painful journey did they lose their pursuers. But losing them came with a heavy price. Their fuel was almost gone. Their food was now a small pile of dried leaves that barely fed anyone. Many of the youngest Solari cried every night from hunger and fear. Euros kept watching the stars because he feared closing his eyes. When he closed his eyes, he saw the burning cities they had left behind. He remembered the screams, the falling towers, and the last look from those who did not make it aboard. The stars were cold and silent, but they hurt less than his memories. A soft voice broke the quiet. It was Lyra, a Solari mother holding her small daughter close. Lyra's eyes were gentle, but full of worry. "Euros," she said, "the ship scanners found a planet. It is blue. It has air and water, but it is not a world the Empire controls." Euros slowly turned his head. A planet with water meant hope. It meant they might survive. But the fact that it was not under Empire rule also meant something else. "Is it Earth?" he asked softly. His voice shook a little. "Yes," Lyra whispered. "The Death World." The word Death World made many Solari tremble. They had all heard stories about Earth, stories that told of storms that tore down mountains, plants that grew with dangerous poison, animals that hunted with sharp teeth, and humans who survived all of it. The galaxy always warned that humans were dangerous. They were too strong, too stubborn, and too wild. The Empire called humans unpredictable. Many alien races feared them, but they also stayed far away from them. Euros thought for a long moment. Earth was a risk. Humans were unknown, but they had no more fuel to search for another world. If they continued drifting, they would soon die. If they tried to turn away from Earth, the ship might break apart. There was only one choice left. "Bring us there," Euros said in a soft, steady voice. "We will face whatever waits for us." The ship moved toward the blue planet. The Solari gathered near the windows as the view grew larger. They saw white clouds, wide oceans, and green lands. The planet looked beautiful, almost too beautiful for beings who were running from death. Suddenly the ship shook. The engines coughed out sparks. The lights blinked again. The ship was falling faster than expected. "The landing will be hard," Lyra warned. "The ship is weak." Euros placed a hand on her shoulder. "Just get the children to safety. That is what matters." The Solari prepared for the rough landing. Some held onto walls. Some held their children. Some closed their eyes and whispered quiet prayers. The ship burst through the clouds and headed toward a wide, open land, with tall trees and mountains in the distance. Smoke poured from the engines. The ground grew closer and closer. A loud, tearing sound shook the inside of the ship as metal scraped against air. Then the ship crashed. Dust and dirt flew everywhere. The ship slid across a field and finally came to a stop. The Solari groaned, coughed, and slowly got up. Some had small injuries, but they were alive. Euros checked everyone one by one. He felt a small wave of relief, but then he heard a strange sound outside the ship. It was a deep hum, followed by soft thumps. Lights moved outside the window. Euros stiffened. "They found us," Lyra whispered in fear. "The Empire found us." Euros hoped that was not true. He moved toward the window and looked outside. What he saw made his heart stop. Humans. They were wearing dark uniforms and protective gear. They carried equipment, but not weapons pointed at them. A large vehicle behind them had bright lights and a symbol Euros did not know. The humans were moving quickly toward the ship, but their movements did not look angry. They looked organized and calm. One human stepped forward. He removed his helmet, showing a face with warm brown eyes and a steady expression. He tapped a small device on his shoulder. Euros heard a voice in his own language. "This is Captain Aaron Hale of the Earth Outpost," the voice said with a clear tone. "We detected your crash landing. We are here to help." Euros felt confused. Help? The galaxy said humans were wild and dangerous. It said humans were violent and unpredictable. Why would a human come to help strangers from the other side of space? The Solari were afraid. They moved back from the windows. Some whispered that they should hide. Some said they should run deeper into the ship. But they had nowhere to run. Captain Aaron waited outside. He did not move forward without permission. He simply stood there with calm patience, as if he understood they were scared. Euros knew he needed to choose now. If the humans meant harm, they were already too close. If they meant help, refusing them could be a mistake. He took a breath and opened the ship's door. A gust of fresh Earth air rushed in. The humans stepped back slightly, giving the Solari space. Aaron greeted them with a small, respectful nod. Euros stepped onto Earth soil. His legs trembled, both from fear and weakness. Aaron stepped forward slowly and gently. "Are you hurt?" he asked. Euros did not answer at first. He studied the human face. It showed no anger, no hate, only concern. "We are refugees," Euros finally said. "We were cast out. We did not want war." Aaron listened carefully. He did not show shock or judgment. He only gave a calm nod. "You are safe here," he said. "We will not turn you away." Euros felt something strange in his chest. He had expected shouting, threats, or capture. Instead, he heard kindness. He looked back at his people. Lyra was holding her daughter close, waiting for his signal. He nodded at her, and the Solari slowly came out of the ship. The humans guided them toward warm lights and medical tents. Some humans brought blankets, others brought food containers. The Solari children looked at the bread and fruit with wide eyes. Lyra watched her daughter take her first bite of an earth apple. Tears filled her eyes. Euros saw this and felt his heart ache. He had not seen joy on anyone's face in a long time. Aaron walked beside Euros. "You are safe now," he repeated. "You can rest." Euros wanted to believe him. He wanted to think that humans really were different from what the galaxy said, but he still felt unsure. "Why help us?" Euros whispered. Aaron looked up at the night sky before answering. "No one deserves to be hunted," he said. "If you ran to us for safety, we will give it. That is how we do things here." Euros stared at him. The words felt unreal. The galaxy had cast them out. The Empire wanted them dead. Every race they had passed feared them and refused to help, but humans welcomed them. As night fell on the quiet Earth outpost, Euros slowly realized something. They had not found a death world. They had found a home. And for the first time in many weeks, he felt hope that tomorrow might be better. The next morning, sunlight broke over the small Earth outpost. The Solari awoke in simple tents with soft mats and warm blankets. The air smelled fresh, a mix of earth, grass, and smoke from cooking fires. For many Solari, it was the first time in weeks they had felt safe. The children stretched their small bodies, yawning and staring at the humans around them. The humans moved quietly, carrying trays of food and water. Euros walked carefully among his people, checking that no one was hurt. Lyra followed, holding her daughter's hand. Both adults were still nervous. The humans had been kind, but it felt strange. The galaxy had always warned them about humans. Stories said humans were strong, dangerous, and unpredictable. Yet here they were, showing nothing but care. Aaron Hale, the human captain, approached Euros again. He carried a small tray of fruit. "Eat something," he said gently. "You need strength." Euros hesitated. He had not eaten in 2 days. Finally, he took a small piece of fruit. It was sweet, unlike anything he had tasted before. The juice ran down his chin, and for a moment, he forgot about the dangers that waited beyond this place. Lyra smiled at him and whispered, "It is good here. You see?" Euros nodded, but the feeling of unease stayed. "Why do you help us?" he asked again. "The galaxy says humans destroy those they do not understand." Aaron shrugged, a small smile on his face. "Maybe some humans do," he said. "But not all. We know what it feels like to be alone, to be hunted. You are not alone here." The Solari children peeked out from behind their mothers. One small boy named Relo looked at the humans with wide eyes. "Are they safe?" he asked. "Will they hurt us?" Lyra held him close. "They will not hurt us," she said. "See how they carry food, not weapons? See how they speak quietly?" Aaron noticed the children and knelt down. "We want to be friends," he said. "Nothing else. If you are scared, we will wait. We only want to help." The Solari watched in amazement. Never had anyone spoken to them this way. Even before the Empire attacked, other races treated the Solari with suspicion. Here, humans spoke gently, without judgment, without fear. The feeling was strange but comforting. As the day moved forward, the humans introduced the Solari to the outpost. Clara, a human officer with kind eyes, showed them small houses made of metal and wood. Jason, a strong and calm human, showed them the garden where humans grew fruit and vegetables. Daniel helped them move supplies into the safe storage. Olivia, a gentle human woman, sat with the children and taught them simple Earth games. Laughter started to return to the Solari, faint but real. Euros watched all of it. He noticed how humans worked together, how they spoke calmly to one another, how they shared meals. Humans were strange, yet strong in ways the Solari had never seen. Their homeworld was dangerous, yes, but it had made them survive against storms, predators, and each other. And somehow that strength came with care, not cruelty. Midday brought a quiet moment. Euros sat with Aaron and Clara near the edge of the outpost. The three watched smoke rise from cooking fires and the children running across the field. Euros spoke slowly. "Our empire hunts us because we refuse to fight. We wanted peace, but peace is dangerous there." Aaron nodded. "Sometimes being kind is dangerous," he said. "Sometimes it makes others angry. But we believe it is right." Euros thought of the celery cities burned to ash, of the people who had died because they chose peace. He felt a heavy weight in his chest. "We are weak now," he admitted. "We cannot fight. We can only hide." Clara reached out and placed a hand on his arm. "You do not need to fight here. Not now. We will help you recover. You will grow stronger again. And when you do, you will choose how to live, not be forced." For a moment, Euros felt hope. Perhaps there was a place in the galaxy where they could survive. Perhaps humans were not as the galaxy described. As afternoon came, a message arrived on the outpost's communication system. The Solari could see it through Euros's small viewing device. It was from the Empire. They demanded that the humans surrender the Solari refugees immediately. They warned of consequences if humans refused. The Solari froze. Panic ran through the group. Lyra grabbed her daughter and whispered a prayer. Euros's body stiffened. The Empire would not stop. If humans gave them up, it would mean death. If humans refused, it could mean war. The galaxy had taught them to fear humans, but perhaps the stories were wrong. Aaron saw the Solari looking at the message. He turned to them and spoke firmly but calmly. "We will not give you up," he said. "You are safe here. We will defend you if we must." Euros felt disbelief. His mind had expected hesitation, bargaining, fear. But instead, humans were standing firm, not just speaking, but ready to act. He looked at Aaron and asked, voice low, "Why? Why risk yourselves for us?" Aaron's eyes met his. "Because it is right. No one deserves to be hunted for choosing peace. That is enough reason for us." The Solari could not understand fully. Their history was full of betrayal, fear, and death. The humans, with all their wildness, seemed to carry a courage rooted in care, not fear or violence. It was something new, something they had never experienced. They were strangers in a galaxy that hated them, yet humans welcomed them. Later, Euros gathered the adult Solari together. "We may be safe," he said, "but the Empire is coming. We must be ready, even if we do not know how." Lyra nodded. "The humans will help. They have already shown it." The Solari children played nearby, laughing softly. For the first time in weeks, there was no crying. There was no hunger, only small smiles and quiet wonder. They watched Olivia teaching them games and saw humans bending to their level, laughing with them. It was strange, but it felt like family. As night fell, Euros walked to the edge of the outpost. He looked at the stars. The galaxy was still dangerous. The Empire would not stop, but he saw lights on the ground, fires glowing, tents arranged, humans standing guard. Hope felt stronger than it had in a long time. Maybe he thought they could survive here. Maybe humans were different than the stories said. Maybe humanity could be a safe place in a galaxy that cast them out. He returned to the tents and saw Lyra sitting quietly with her daughter. The children were asleep, tired from the excitement of the day. Euros placed a hand on Lyra's shoulder. "We will survive," he whispered. "We are not alone anymore." Lyra looked at him and nodded, tears in her eyes. "We are home, Euros," she said softly. "For now, at least, we are home." The humans stayed nearby, patrolling the small outpost, checking the perimeter, making sure the Solari were safe. The Solari watched in amazement. They had expected fear, violence, and cruelty. Instead, humans had shown kindness, protection, and patience. It was a strange world, yet perhaps a world they could live in. Euros knew the coming days would bring tests. The Empire would not forget them. Other dangers might appear. But for the first time, he allowed himself to imagine a future where the Solari could rebuild. A future where children could laugh without fear, where families could eat without worry, where strangers from another world could offer warmth instead of death. And all of it came from humans. He closed his eyes and whispered a silent thanks to the blue planet beneath him. The galaxy had cast them out, but humanity had welcomed them. And for now, that was enough. The Solari woke to a quiet morning at the Earth outpost. The sun rose slowly over the hills, painting the sky in shades of pink and gold. For a moment, everything felt calm. The children ran between tents, chasing small animals that darted through the grass. The adults prepared simple meals, and humans moved around, checking supplies, repairing equipment, and keeping watch over the perimeter. Euros walked with Lyra near the edge of the outpost. He could feel the tension under the calm surface. The message from the Empire still weighed on him. The Empire would not let the Solari go easily. They had already destroyed so much, and now they demanded these refugees back. The thought made Euros's body tighten. If humans refused, war would come. If humans agreed, the Solari would die. There was no choice without danger. Aaron Hale walked beside him, his expression steady. He carried a small device, scanning the horizon for any signs of incoming ships. "We have time," he said. "Not much, but enough to prepare. They may come, but we will not surrender you." Euros studied him. He had seen leaders before, leaders who shouted orders, made threats, or betrayed their people. Aaron was different. He spoke calmly, but his words carried strength. The Solari could feel it in their bones. "Humans do not fight like us," Euros said quietly. "You are not like the Empire. You are different." Aaron nodded. "We are different because we have to be. Earth is not easy. Our home demands strength, but it also demands care. We survive by working together, by protecting each other, and by using what we have. You will see." The Solari watched closely as humans began preparations. Jason led teams to inspect the small defensive turrets. Daniel worked with the Solari to build makeshift shelters in the surrounding forest. Clara trained the Solari children in basic survival skills, while Olivia organized food and medical supplies. Every action was calm, measured, and purposeful. It was not the fear-driven rush the Solari had seen from other races. It was confidence. Euros turned to Lyra. "Do you think they will really fight for us?" he asked. His voice was low. "The Empire is powerful. We are weak." Lyra held her daughter close. "I do not know," she admitted. "But they have already saved us once. Maybe they will again." By midday, tension filled the air. Scouts returned with distant signals. The Empire was approaching. Massive ships moved through space, heading straight for Earth's outpost. The Solari had never seen anything like them. They were dark, cold, and sharp-edged, moving with the confidence of power. The humans watched them silently, scanning and measuring every detail. Aaron gathered the Solari for a moment. "Stay calm," he said. "Do not panic. We will protect you. Our world is not easy, but it has advantages you do not see. We will use them." Euros listened, trying to understand. He did not yet know what those advantages were, but he trusted the humans because they had already proven themselves. He felt a small spark of hope. As the Empire ships drew closer, the humans prepared defenses. Small turrets were positioned on the hills. Energy shields activated around key areas. Jason coordinated the placement of obstacles and traps to slow any landing. The Solari watched in amazement. Humans used speed, intelligence, and the land itself. They did not have the largest numbers, but they used what they had to its fullest. "Why are they not attacking from the front?" Euros whispered to Aaron. Aaron smiled faintly. "We do not fight like the Empire. We do not throw everything forward blindly. We use the world to our advantage. We are patient. We wait for the right moment." Lyra shivered. The Empire ships were massive, but the humans were calm. The Solari could not understand. Their kind had always faced threats with fear and immediate action. Humans acted differently. Their strength came not only from power, but from strategy and patience. Then the first shots came. The Empire tested the humans' defenses, firing energy blasts toward the outpost. The turrets activated, deflecting and absorbing attacks. Humans moved quickly, adjusting positions, repairing damage, and responding with precise countermeasures. The Solari watched in awe. The humans did not panic. They adapted. They survived. Euros felt a mix of fear and admiration. These humans were not reckless. They were not cruel. They were strong, but their strength came with control. For the first time, he began to see why the galaxy feared them. Not because they were dangerous without reason, but because they could survive and act where others failed. The Empire ships grew closer. They sent landing teams to the planet's surface. Huge dropships moved toward the hills. Humans had prepared the terrain carefully. Large boulders, trenches, and other obstacles slowed the dropships. Automated defenses fired warning shots and immobilized some vehicles. The Solari could hardly believe it. Humans had turned the land itself into a weapon and shield. Euros whispered to Lyra, "They fight with the world, not just themselves." Lyra nodded. "And they fight for us." The battle on the ground began in earnest. Humans used fast vehicles to flank enemy forces. They moved through forests, valleys, and hills, using cover, speed, and terrain. The Solari saw that humans were small compared to the Empire's warriors, but their actions were clever, precise, and effective. Enemy troops were slowed, confused, and sometimes trapped. Rilo, the small Solari boy, watched with wide eyes. He tugged at his mother's hand. "They are strong," he whispered. "The humans, they are strong." Lyra nodded, holding him close. "Not just strong," she said. "They are smart, and they care." Euros realized the same. Humans fought not for power, not for conquest, but to protect. Every move they made seemed tied to keeping the Solari safe. It was something the Solari had never seen before. The Empire fought for control. Humans fought for others. As the battle continued, the Solari noticed something remarkable. The humans worked in small teams, each person understanding exactly what to do. Jason coordinated attacks, repairing mistakes quickly. Clara ensured medics reached the wounded. Olivia kept children and refugees hidden. Daniel reinforced structures while directing reinforcements. Their teamwork was flawless, and it gave the Solari hope. Euros approached Aaron during a quiet moment. "You are amazing," he said softly. "The Empire is powerful, yet you protect with everything you have." Aaron shook his head. "We do not fight for ourselves," he said. "We fight because it is right. We fight because no one should be hunted for choosing peace." "That is what makes us strong." Euros studied him. He wanted to believe him fully, but fear still lingered. The Empire was massive. Humans were fewer, yet he could not deny what he saw. Humans had not panicked. Humans had not fled. They were holding ground and keeping the Solari alive. For the first time, Euros realized that humans' reputation in the galaxy might be wrong. Not that they were dangerous for the wrong reasons, but that they were dangerous because they would not leave others behind. As night fell, the battle slowed. The Empire ships retreated temporarily, surprised by the resistance they had encountered. Humans took advantage of the pause, repairing damaged defenses, moving supplies, and attending to the wounded. The Solari could finally breathe. Euros gathered the adults again. "I do not understand," he said. "We are weak. The Empire is strong. Yet these humans, they protected us. They risked themselves for us. Why?" Lyra squeezed his hand. "Because humans, they are different," she said. "Different from what the galaxy says. Different from the Empire. They care." Euros looked at the humans working through the night, repairing, helping, and watching. He felt gratitude deeper than words. The galaxy had cast them out, declared them traitors, and hunted them. Yet these humans, these wild, strange, unpredictable humans, had stood firm and protected them. It was a kindness he had never known. He realized something important. Humans were strong not just because of their bodies or technology, but because of their hearts and minds. They survived storms, wars, and hardships, yet they did not forget care. They were dangerous in ways the Empire could not understand, not through cruelty, but through courage and compassion. Euros felt hope rise within him. The Solari were weak now, yes, but they were alive. Humans had shown them that strength came in many forms. Maybe one day they could return to the stars safely. Maybe one day they could survive without fear. For now, though, they had humans, and that was enough. The night was quiet, except for distant echoes of retreating ships. Fires burned in the outpost. Humans moved silently, guarding, repairing, and helping. The Solari children slept safely. Lyra sat beside Euros, holding his hand. "We are alive," she whispered. "We are alive because of them." Euros nodded. He looked at the stars above, a galaxy still full of danger, and smiled faintly. Humanity had shown him that even in the darkest places, hope could survive. Even when cast out by the galaxy, there were those who would protect the weak. There were those who would fight for what was right. And for the first time in a long time, Euros believed they could survive. Not just survive, but live.